It's time for the battle of the Kingfisher Strong beers. I have in front of me 3 of the Kingfisher Strong beers. We start here with the Kingfisher Strong. This is the original souped up version of the Kingfisher premium beer. So this comes in at 8% and is, from what I can gather, the #1 selling beer in India. The can 500ml costs 135 rupees here in this state. In 2015, Kingfisher introduced the Ultramax. Now the Ultramax is using imported Pilsen malt, and that makes it a premium item. Although this says it's premium beer, this is definitely premium because it's imported malts. The idea was to create a smoother and maltier beer with less bitterness than you would get in the normal Kingfisher beer. This though comes in at a price premium. For the 500ml can, it's 170 rupees. In 2017, Kingfisher introduced Strom. Strom was introduced to combat the challenge from Carlsberg Elephant and Tuborg Strong. Both of them come into the market and they were eaten away at Kingfisher Strong market hold. This was considered too high a price, I would say. So what they've done with Strom is used local malts, not imported malts, and tried to replicate the idea of a smoother, maltier beer to combat or to be the opposite of the bitter beer that is the normal Kingfisher Strong. So this comes in at 140 rupees. So I've got 135, 170 and 140. Both of these should be smoother than the original Kingfisher, but it'd be interesting to see what the difference is between these two, because obviously imported malts and local malts. Let's get these poured out into a glass and see what they're like. Got my glasses on the side here, just duck down, pick them up. Let's start by opening the Kingfisher Strong. I'm going to get them all poured out though. All nicely chilled, just come out of the fridge, and literally then just put them on the table and started recording. There we go. So that is the original Kingfisher Strong. Ultramax. Thankfully not doing any horrendous pours on this go. And lastly, Strom. All of these are ranged at up to 8%. Again, I'm not sure if they are all 8%. They could be up to the 8% mark just based on the boundaries that is listed out here in India. Let's start with Kingfisher Strong. Let's have a smell of it. It is your typical strong lager out here. It's definitely a lot of sweetness in there. You can smell the sweetness. They do like their sweeter beers. Getting some froth on my nose there. All right, let's quickly have a nose of the Ultramax. Okay, a bit more maltiness in the nose, but definitely still sweetness in there. And lastly, okay, that one smells less sweet on the Strom. It's not as sweet as the other two, but that doesn't mean anything till we get into the taste, does it? Let's get tasting the Strong. Let's see what it's like. Okay. I wouldn't say there's much bitterness in there at all. If they're saying there's bitterness in there, it's very low. There's a certain note to it that I would say is grainy and dry. Whether that's some people are saying is the bitterness. First beer of the day, obligatory, got to tell you that. I think that's okay. It's standard Kingfisher lager taste. but obviously souped up, I can feel the ABV, I can taste this extra sweetness in it, because these are definitely a lot sweeter than you would find for strong beers in the UK market. It's, I would say it's an average strong beer. I can see why people perhaps drink that. Let's move on to the Ultramax. I say it's got the darker can with gold, which is something that tries to say, oh look, this is luxury, this is an expensive item, and it is the most expensive out of them. But not by much, but in the local market that is a big difference. Yeah, okay. That's definitely a smoother beer. I'm not saying bitter. There's no bitterness difference at all. That's not that bitter in my eyes. There's no bitterness difference. Definitely smooth, easy drinking beer. Smooth, nice sweetness to it. So there's sweetness still there. It's definitely in the nose and in the taste. Doesn't have that graininess that this one had. Doesn't leave a dryness in there. Has a bit of a sort of a raisiny sweetness to it. That, again, it's decent. That is more along the lines of probably what I would like over the Kingfisher one. But let's go on to the Storm, which unfortunately the header's not held on like the other ones here. But that could be the glass. So not going to read into that too much. Okay, as said, not as much sweetness on the nose on this one. Let's see what it's like on the taste. Oh, okay. We're going back to the definite taste of the Kingfisher Strong on this side. You can feel there's more maltiness there, but again, I feel it's a bit dry, like this one. Interesting to compare the two to see if this is smoother. Okay, Storm, let's compare it to the Strong. Okay, I can taste the difference between these. I can definitely feel the difference between them. This, your classic Strong, as I said, definitely dry, a bit grainy, and has a certain taste in there that stands out, and it's quite sweet. Come to the Storm likewise, very similar, although I will say it is definitely smoother. There's less of that underlying dryness that you get with this one, but you can still taste the same graininess to it. So it's definitely the same grains being used on these. This is just much smoother in how they've processed it. That is okay, but the outright winner for me has to be the Ultramax. That is a beautiful smooth beer. None of the graininess that you're getting from there. You are getting a lovely maltiness. I said a raisin sort of flavour as well coming through, but as I say, all of these are much sweeter than the UK strong lagers that you may find. But for me, the Ultramax stands out as the best of these three. Let me know what you think of any, if you've had any of these. I know they're probably not available in the UK market, but you might have had a try at some stage, imported or not. But Ultramax for the win for me. Take care, everyone.